Grant County Sheriff's Office.
Were you able to get a description of the intoxication?
Hi, can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hi, I'm calling. I'm right on the corner of Main Street by Moonflower, and we're driving by, and I'd like to report a domestic dispute. Florida with a white van, Florida license plate, white land, gentleman
Where's
about
it at?
5'6" beard. They just drove off. They're going down Main Street. They made a right onto Main Street from Moonflower.
Or what were they doing?
Cooperative, but what'd you say?
What were they doing?
We drove by, and the gentleman was slapping the girl.
He was slapping her?
Yes, and then we stopped. They ran up and down the sidewalk. He proceeded to hit her, hopped in the car, and they drove off.
Okay, you said it's a white van?
White van. I can give you the license plate if you give me 1 sec. I took a picture of it.
What kind of white van? Like a big one?
It was a smaller van with the license plate of, it was white, Florida license plate. It was, the make was a Ford, model was Transit, black ladder on the passenger side.
Black ladder, passenger side.
White Ford Transit.
White Ford Transit. Okay, what's your name? And where did they, so they turned, they headed south on Main Street from Moonflower Market?
Correct, they made the right turn.
Also, they went north.
North. Yeah, sorry, I'm not from around here.
Okay, so you're right there by the post office?
Right across the street, yep.
Okay, and when they turned onto Main Street, they went right or left?
Right.
Right, so they went north. North on Main. All right, I will let somebody know. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries.
Bye.
Thanks.
Thanks, Scott. Fox 13 News has confirmed a new development in the case of missing 22-year-old Gabby Petito. A family spokesperson says Gabby was last seen alive at the Fairfield Inn and Suites on Admiral Byrd Road on August 24th.
That hotel is just west of the Salt Lake City International Airport, and we went there last night. Staff wouldn't speak to us on camera, but they did say the FBI and police officers have visited the hotel recently. They also tell us Gabby stayed there for more than a day.
A new witness is coming forward to say he encountered Laundrie drinking alone at this Bullwinkle's restaurant in Montana on August 26th, the night before Gabby was last seen alive.
It was almost like he was sulking or mad or in deep thought about something. I really didn't pay him that much attention until he spoke up. And then it was aggressive and made a comment about stupid Southerners.
Excuse my French, but I'm freaking the fuck out. Matt and I just realized, because I'm a freaking dumbass and I did not put two and two together, that we not only saw like a blowout of a situation between Gabby Petito and Brian Laundrie in Wyoming when we were there. I'm freaking the fuck out. Yes, we have already talked to authorities. Like, how? I did not put two and two together that this happened. Like, I don't know. So I'm following this case. Matt's not. He's a guy. He has other shit going on. He could probably care less. I'm filling him in on this case a couple days ago, and I guess maybe he Googled it and saw a picture of Brian. Matt has an insane photographic memory. And so for 2 days now, he's like, I fucking know that guy Brian. Like, I don't know how, but I know this guy Brian. Like, I've seen him before. When Matt says that, anyway, we were in Wyoming. So Matt woke up this morning and he's freaking out. And he's like, oh my God, I know how he looks familiar. Nina, we saw them in Wyoming. They were the couple fighting at the restaurant. We were at this restaurant, you guys, Friday, August 27th, 1 p.m., sitting right next to them. They got kicked out of the restaurant and were fighting with the hostess. They were fighting with the hostess. She was hysterically crying. And she walked out and she was crying and she was staying on the sidewalk. And I was watching the whole thing unfold. And he walked back in the restaurant and he's fighting with the hostess. And I didn't know what happened. I don't even know if they got kicked out, but they like left abruptly. And like she was standing on the sidewalk crying and he walked back in and was like screaming at the hostess and then walked back out. And then he walked back in like 4 more times to talk to the manager and to like tell the hostess off. And like all right, I'm calming down and I'm going to try to speak more clearly. I don't even know if these videos are uploading or if they're uploading in order or if they make any sense. I'm just like freaking out right now. I'm having like an out of body experience. How I did not remember this situation, like it just like left my memory. Like we stayed in Wyoming for another 4 or 5 days for a wedding and we just had like an amazing trip. And like I didn't think about the couple fighting in the restaurant ever again. But Matt like knew he had seen this guy before and he could not drop it. And then it just like clicked this morning. He woke up out of bed and he was like screaming bloody murder. And he was like, oh my God, I know, I remember it was them in the restaurant. And it just like, I felt like my blood like left my body. I was like, oh my God, like you're right. Like it was them. It's just crazy. It feels surreal. Like now I feel, I don't know, just, it was weird. And I remember this, oh my God. Okay, so I'm going to try to go like more into detail now. I just wanted to get like the general, just like the gist of it out there. I feel like I'm going to cry. This is so fucking weird. I went to the bath. They were sitting right next to us, like right fucking next to us. And we were both sitting right by the hostess stand, right by the front door. I went to the bathroom. I came back and they were like abruptly leaving, like something happened. At first, my first thought was like they were displeased with the service and they were walking out or they were trying to get out of paying their bill, but it was kind of like a scene. And I was like zoned in for some reason and Matt was like on his phone and I was like, babe, like put your phone down, like something is like going on. You guys, it was like a fucking scene, like something that doesn't happen every day at a restaurant. The way he was acting, she was crying, she was upset. This had to have been right before she died. So she walks out, she's upset, she's crying, and he's like more angry. Like you could tell like it's more sadness for her and she's crying for some reason. I don't know if she was embarrassed or what, because I don't know, I couldn't hear, I don't know what was going on. I could just see what was unfolding. And so she's standing on the sidewalk. I could see her through the front door and she's standing on the sidewalk crying and he walks out with her, but then like right away turns around, walks right back in and he's, you know, kind of like violently like talking to the hostess and you could tell he's angry and they're just kind of like doing the whole like sorry, like we don't know what to tell you kind of thing. You could tell he was relentless. He wouldn't drop it. Whatever it was, he wouldn't drop it. He walked out, he walked back in the restaurant probably 4 more times, just to kind of make a scene and just to get his point across, which, you know, I don't know what that was. I really don't know what happened, but she just apologized. I think she was telling him like, come on, like just drop it, let's go. And she like looked at the hostess and she was just like I'm sorry. And that was it. And it's just like I don't even know. I don't even have words right now.
Hi, my name is Miranda Baker, and on August 29th, my boyfriend and I picked up Brian at Grand Teton National Park at 5:30 at night at Coulter Bay. I'm hoping this can help someone identify him because I saw him from TikTok, which then made me call the authorities, and my boyfriend and I have been in contact with a bunch of different people to help piece together different parts of this case. But we picked him up at Coulter Bay, like I said, at 5:30. He approached us asking us for a ride because he needed to go to Jackson, which we were going to Jackson that night. So I said, hop in. He hops in the back of my Jeep. We then, proceeded to make small talk. But before he came in the car, he offered to pay us like $200 to give him a ride, like 10 miles. So that was kind of weird. He then told us he's been camping for multiple days without his fiance. He did say he had a fiance, and that she was working on their social media page back at their van. Then once, in conversation, I brought up, we're going to Jackson. He freaked out. He's like, nope, I need to get out right now. Pull over. So we pulled over at the Jackson Dam, which I don't know if you know Teton Park, but it's not very far from Coulter Bay. And if this does reach people, I can post pictures of exactly where we were. We picked him up and the whole route or whatever, and screenshots of the timestamps. We dropped him off at 6:09 p.m. on August 29th. He kind of hurried out of the car, and then he's like, okay, I'm just gonna go find someone else to hitchhike. And we're like, okay. It was a weird situation. So when we picked him up, he was wearing a backpack, he had a long sleeve pants, hiking boots, and he had scruff, but he didn't look dirty. For someone who was camping for multiple days, he didn't look dirty, he didn't smell dirty, so that part was kind of weird. And I'm just really hoping that they find her, and this helps someone remember seeing him, or something like that. Still, to clarify a few things that people are confused on still, when he asked to ride, he has to go to Jackson, which, if you're familiar with this area, a lot of people call Jackson Hole Jackson. So that's why I said yes to giving him a ride. But you think any good hiker would know south and north. We were going south of the park. When he said he was camping north, he had told us that him and Gabby were not camping on a regulated campsite through the national park, that they were camping basically out in the middle of nowhere along Snake River. This is key information. He said that he had hiked for days along Snake River, but when looking at his backpack, it wasn't full, and he said all he had was a tarp to sleep on, which you think if you're going camping for days on end, you'd want food and a tent, and he had none of that. And like I said, he looked clean and didn't smell bad.